welcome back to this channel, King What If. I'm starting a new What If called What If Belle was in the Loki Familia, just because I think it'd actually be a really good take on the story. Now, I should say something about my other What Ifs. Now, I will finish all my other What Ifs, besides my What If Deku had Overhaul. I'm deciding to cancel that because it just doesn't work anymore for me. Now, the next one I plan on doing would be what if Deku was Shiro slash Archer, since that was a personalized one someone wanted me to do. It just took me longer to figure out some stuff because I have to change some stuff in the story. But let's get started. Now, this starts off before Belle was even in Aurario. Zeus would have just faked his. Zeus would have, yeah. We already know this. No spoilers here. Zeus would have faked his own death, as Belle would be sad. He decided to go to Aurario, as he'd have the goal in mind of being a hero. If he was gonna be a hero, then he should join the best familias. Now Belle would have some trouble, but eventually, one day he'd be walking from a house he had just stayed in. He had a room he had just rented, as he was done with it. Angry Belle would be seeing some of the Loki Familia members walking out the dungeon. Mainly Finn and Gareth. Now, Belle would run to them as he'd say, You you guys are from the Loki Familia, level 6s, right? As Finn would say yes. As Belle would do some small chat with Finn and Gareth. As he'd ask them, how do I get into the Loki Familia? As Finn and Gareth would be surprised. They'd be like, why didn't you just enter the gate and talk to us? As Belle would say, he hadn't gotten that far yet because he was scared. He didn't think he'd be let in to one of the two biggest familiars in Aurario. Gareth would say, that's nonsense, kid. If we stopped letting people in, then we wouldn't be the biggest familiar we wouldn't be one of the biggest familiars in Aurario. That's idiotic. Belle would say, I'm sorry, as he'd bow. Gareth would say, wow, kid. As Finn would say, come on, let's go. Now, Finn would introduce Belle to Loki, as he would ask to join the Familia. Loki would accept. He'd meet the main people, including, Tione, Rivera, Ice, Lafia, some other people. He'd also meet Bet, but Bet wasn't really nice to him. Now, a month later, Belle is in the dungeon. As he's thinking, I wonder when the Familia's coming back. As due to him being a level 1 and only being in the Familia for 1 month, he's not allowed to go on expeditions. Now, Belle would be going as he'd see a Minotaur. The Minotaur would rush him as Belle would be into a corner, and Ice would save Belle like normal. Ice would see Belle and she'd be like, are you okay? Is your name Cronelb? Is your name Sel Brunel? Or something like that? Belle would be embarrassed and run away the same way. Belle would be running to the guild as he'd be thinking, how stupid. We're in the same familia. What was that gonna do? But Belle would run to the guild, and there's nothing extra here. He'd have the same talk with Aina, exactly the same, but Aina wouldn't say that Belle couldn't marry her due to them being in the same familia. That would be changed. Belle would say, whatever. As he would run to the Loki familiar house, he'd be asking where Ice was, just to avoid confusion. They would move a lot, as he'd see Ice. Now, Ice would be asking where Belle was, or the name she would only go by looks. Now, everybody knew Belle as the rabbit of the Loki family, so they would point Belle to his room, as Belle would just decide to go out and sleep. Now, after that, Belle would wake up as he'd think that it wasn't good what he did, so he would decide to go. While going, he would decide to go back to the Familia. While going to the Familia, Belle would feel eyes on him. He'd turn around. What was that? As he turned around again to see a girl that was too close to him. Sir and Belle would back up. As Sir would say, "Are you an adventurer? You dropped these." Belle would say, "I dropped my magic stones yesterday." As he would decide to just pick them up. He would thank Seer, and Seer, he would still get a lunchbox from Seer. Although he wasn't going into the dungeon, he felt bad about, you know, neglecting her random act of kindness. As as Seer would ask what familia he was in, as Bill would say he was in a Loki familia. Now, Seer would say, "Oh, you guys have a reservation tonight, so I guess we'll see each other then." Bill would say, "Okay." He'd go to Loki familia mansion, where he'd look for Ice. Conveniently, he'd meet Ice by the front gate, as Ice, Tiona, and Lufia were about to go shopping. Belle would apologize, as the other Tiona would say, "Oh, that's cute," but Lufia would just be in a corner pouting. As Belle would run back in, he had to straighten things out. Now Belle would decide to get his status checked, as Loki would check his status, having nothing to do, have no wine to drip, no one to annoy. Loki would check Belle's status, as Loki would see that Belle had gotten a new skill. Loki would have. I don't know how Hestia knew that Belle about. Wait. Technically, Belle did tell Hestia about it, so that's why she knew. But Loki would see this skill, but not know that it was for Ice. Loki would say, "Hey, kid." Loki would say, "No, wait, Bill." As Belle would be like, "What? Really?" As Loki would say, "Yeah." They would finish checking Belle's status, as Loki would do whatever gods do with the paper. As she would see, it's called Rihanna's phrase. It equals fast growth. Belle would be like, "Fast growth? If this is true, then I could catch up to her quicker." As Loki would say, "I don't know what triggered it, but if you keep going with your ambitions, the better the skill goes." They would say, "Okay," and leave. As Loki would be wondering what the future of that kid holds. She'd say, "Thank goodness he's in my familia." Now, they would go out they'd go out to the hostess of Fertility. Now, this part would be similar a little bit. Bet would still make fun of Belle, but Riveria would tell Bet to stop it, because it's not good to bully your lower familia members. As Bet would say, "Whatever," and they would tie him up just like in normal. No dine and dash, no nothing. But Belle would return the thing that Seer gave him. Tell Belle to come back here in the morning. Belle would go to bed, as he'd wake up to go in the dungeon. Now, wait real quick. Yeah. He would go in the dungeon and just come back, get a size update, and it'd actually be. Loki would be shocked at the rate Belle grew. Now, if you're wondering how Belle can just get his status updated past all of his other Familia members. Basically, due to this skill, Loki has made a special exception for Bell. So basically, due to curiosity, Loki would tell Bell that if he wants to get his status checked, he should come to her room at about 4, 4 or 6 every day, because she will be waiting there for 2 or 3 minutes for him, just so she can just check. Now, Loki would be going to Ganesha's bed. Should still have the same talk with Dionysus and Demeter, and she would actually meet Hephaestus. Now, I don't think this would happen, but I'm gonna make this happen. Sorry, I'm in my basement, so if you can hear that noise. So, Loki would talk about, you know, Loki would talk to Hephaestus about making a weapon for Bel. Now, Hephaestus would suggest the weapon bid be 200 million phalas. As Loki would say, that is pricey. But, now if you didn't know, Finn, Finn, the captain of the Loki Familia, has 2 weapons. And fun fact, each of those weapons are over 100 million phalas. He has a spear that is 140 million phalas. And he has another spear that is 160 million phalas. So they have some money. Loki would offer to pay half now and pay half slowly. Hephaestus would take this knowing that Loki was good for it, and they would work out some deal. Now, Loki would just decide to have it delivered. Now, in this version, Loki would call Belle to her room, as Loki would give Belle the knife, actually, since it really didn't take that long to make. And she'd also say that he was going to be her escort for Monsterphilia. Now, Freya and Loki wouldn't have the same conversation due to Freya wanting Belle. Now, this one was going to be hard for Freya due to Loki's Familia being one of the second best tied for first best in Aurario. This wasn't going to be an easy fight, unlike if it was some random person's Familia. So Freya was thinking, and she had to do this smartly. While there, they would be attacked by a gorilla, and basically, this part would mainly happen the same. I mean, it happened the exact same, actually. Actually, no. And this time, Belle would actually take down the gorilla around the food stand area due to him having the knife. As this time, in the original, when Belle attacked the gorilla for the first time with his cheap knife, the cheap knife broke. So this time, attacking it with the Loki knife would be better, I think. Yeah. Attacking it with the cheap knife would be better. With the real knife would be better, killing it easily. And then after that, Aias, Lafia, Tione would have gone to Loki, as Loki would have told them to handle it. Bo would want to help too, but Loki would say he was too low leveled. Now, if you want to know a fun fact, Bo before I leave, I'm gonna start doing fun facts. Fun fact: Bell would have actually been level 2 quicker when Bell would have leveled up to level 2 after killing the gorilla if he had the right stats. But his stats were still too low. Because if you know, to level up you have to have the right stats and do something spectacular. So, this is it. Again, I plan on doing the other ones soon. if maybe not tonight, probably this week at least. But I have a member of my family staying with us, and he's leaving soon in 2 days. So I just want to spend as much time as I can. So, and comment down if you like this, and if I should do one for like the Freya Familia or something. Okay, bye.